want to share a story. One of my brothers, I have four, was going to, he was dating this woman, right? And they were talking about getting married. And, he popped out with this engagement ring and everything. So, I'm trying to make friends with, I was friendly with her, but I felt like I needed to get closer to her since she was going to become a member of our family. And I remember one day, because at the time I lived in San Francisco, and we were going to Oakland for some reason. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we were on the Bay Bridge, and she, I'm driving, and she's just talking. And she was telling me a story about how her brother was dating a white girl, and all the machinations she did, lies, tricks, games, all kind of stuff she did to try to separate her brother from this white girl. So I asked her, I said, well, what's wrong with the woman? Because, she could have a very good reason. Maybe the woman was, there was something seriously wrong with her that only she saw that her brother didn't, because he was blinded by love, lust, whatever. And she told me that the only reason she did all these things was because the woman was white and she didn't want her brother with a white girl. Okay, now I'm the sister of a black male, and I'm hearing this from a woman who has a brother just like I do. My brothers mean the world to me. Now, I may not see them all the time. I may not even talk to them even every month. But you let something happen to one of them, or you let somebody try to threaten them, I'm all over that shit like white on rice. You are not going to hurt my brothers, okay? So I'm listening to her, right? And I turn and I look at her and I see her in that moment with different eyes. She'd given me no clue that she was this way before that. It all happened in that one instant. And I knew from that moment on, if she would lie, manipulate, and trick her own brother, her own flesh and blood, the one who protected her when she was in elementary school, the one she grew up with, the one she claimed to love, if she would treat him like that, she would have no problem dogging the fuck out of my brother. And in that moment, I began to hate the fuck out of that bitch. It was like nothing she did was right. And I debated quite a while on what to do about it, And when my brother, the wedding date was approaching, I felt really bad, because I felt like if I didn't tell him what I knew about this woman's character and he married her, it would forever be on my head that I knew something that could have protected him and I didn't tell him. So if he fell later, if he was devastated in any way, I would feel responsible, since I knew what she was and I failed to tell him. So I was in college, at the time, in Texas, and I took the time to write my brother out like a 5-page letter and tell him what had happened and how I felt about it and how I thought it would impact him in the future. I begged him not to marry her. But, he did it anyway, because he was under the assumption that, what does my little sister know? And, of course, now they're divorced. And he got to see during the course of their marriage the character that I was talking about. So I say all that and share this personal story because I wanted to give you guys an example of what I'm going to talk about in this video, which is the impact of family, friends, and adult children on your relationship. And I got a comment, one of my YouTube subscribers wanted me to talk about the female friends and how they impact your relationship, and as she put it, try to throw a monkey wrench in it. I also got a letter just today, not a letter, rather a comment, that said pretty much the same thing. She used the same word, monkey wrench. I thought that was kind of interesting. And but she was taking it from the approach that family and adult children, will try to negatively impact your relationship. So between those two women, I finally decided to do this video and talk about this particular issue, because what I want to say is this: you being the one in the relationship, all caught up with, your hormones and your dreams, your wishes, your fantasies, and your dream, you don't see your partner with clear eyes the way that other people do. You don't see them unemotionally. You don't see them in a factual way. You see them through the lens of your romantic vision. And yes, there are, I have to admit, there are some women out there who will try to hate on their female friends because they want they want them to break up because they want their dude for themselves. And people are like, well, what about those women? I'm like, okay, what about them? Who gives a shit? I'm going to tell you this. If you're worried about some bitch getting your nigga, then your nigga ain't worth shit. Let's put it that way. So all you running around, you trying to protect your relationship from other women getting in it, and you don't want to hear what they got to say, and you think they trying to get at your nigga and all this old shit. If you really trusted that man, if he was really worth anything, there would be nothing in this world that could separate him from you. He wouldn't give a shit if bitches showed up naked and laid on the ground with their legs open. It wouldn't matter. The fact that you worried about it shows that you don't really trust your relationship, and you really don't trust your man. So let's circle back to the topic of this video. Okay, so you in a relationship, right? You grinning, you thinking you all got everything all wonderful and hunky-dory, and suddenly your people that are close to you, people who have loved you since your black ass showed up on this planet, your mama, your older sisters and brothers, your aunties and uncles, your grandparents, friends you've had since diapers. Okay, suddenly those people are alarmed about this partner that you have, and they start making comments, but your dumb ass wants to sit there and ignore it and act like, well, you just trying to put in your 2 cents. You don't really care about me. You just don't want me to be happy. In this moment, I need you to check your dumb ass, because you're stupid. If the people who have loved you and proven their love for you over decades of your life are alarmed at the person that you have aligned yourself with, I'm not saying you got to break up with them that second. What I'm telling you is you need to pay attention to their alarms. They care about you. They've proven that over many years. Why you think a motherfucker who just showed up in your life has more value, and you should pay more attention to that person than you do the people who have proven their loyalty and caring for you, shows that you just a dumbass. I don't even know what else to say. You can think about it, and you can really weigh with a neutral, rational mind what it is they're talking about. If you can do that. Most of you can't, because you too caught up in the dick. Your mind is all confused. You just dick whipped and just stupid about some man and what he's doing. And so you refuse to listen to people who care about you, who do want to do nothing more than protect you from getting hurt. But you don't see it that way. What you see is these people are trying to keep you from your happiness. That's what you see. And I have to say this, the people who are around you, really think about this. They're not emotionally connected to this person you fucking, okay? They're not emotionally connected to them. They can see them in a very neutral way. They can see the things that this person says to you and how it hurts you. They can see the ways that what this person does and how it's not helping you. They can see how you're giving too much. They can see how you're over-sacrificing yourself to maintain the relationship. And I'm not talking about stupid stuff like the person's race, the person's height, the person's weight, the person's looks. Those are silly things. I'm not talking about that. If they coming at you with that kind of stuff, well then yeah, you do need to check them. I'm talking about character traits and things that will impact you in your life and in the relationship for a long time. Those things are very important, especially if your friends, family, or adult children have stumbled onto some information about this individual that they may be afraid to tell you, because they can see how in this other, this individual's corner you are. You refuse to listen to anything that's negative. I'm begging you to open your mind and listen to what they have to say, because of the fact that people get gamed on, women get gamed on every day of the week, and the people that are surrounding you are there trying to protect you from getting hurt. They're not trying to hurt you. Stop it. If you have people that you really think are trying to hurt you in your life, why are they there? That's your fault. They should have been cut out a long time ago if you really think that they're out to hurt you. You know what I mean? This doesn't even sound rational. It's nothing about this sounds sensible. You either have people in your life that you trust and love, or you have people in your life that you don't trust and you don't love, and you don't think they love you either. Then I have to ask you, why are they there? So we're back to square one, where you have people who do love and care about you, and they're trying to pull your coat and make you aware of some things that you may be ignoring, and some things that could have potential long-term harm for you. Okay, why do you refuse to listen? You think that you know every damn thing, and that whatever magical words this motherfucker's whispering in your ears is the truth. Well, maybe your friend saw him out with some other woman with his tongue deep down her throat, but she's scared to tell you because you are going to be of the mindset that she's just trying to break you up and ruin your life. You see what I mean? You have to maintain an open mind. And it's great to love somebody. Don't get me wrong. It's great to love someone. But you have to remember that if you marry someone, or you're in a long-term relationship with someone, they're not just with you. They're with your family as well. They have to mesh well with everyone that you care about. They're not just, you can't just live on an island like that. And I don't know, it just becomes really an interesting dynamic when people don't want to pay any attention to to their loved ones. I don't understand that kind of thinking. And when you have children, now let's just say they're young children, right? And they're still living at home, middle school, high school, whatever. These days kids live at home, they still in college, because shit, rent is high as a giraffe's ass. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so you have some children, right? And they meet your new significant other, and they're kind of observing and spending time with the two of you, and they checking this person out. And your child comes to you, or your children as a group, and tell you, Mom, we don't really think this guy is good for you. What do you do? How do you handle that? A lot of you would just fly off the handle. You don't tell me what to do. This my man, blah, 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 all this old stuff. What you should be doing is sitting down with your children and saying, okay, I hear that you have some problems. What is it that you're thinking, or what is it that you're feeling? And walk through it with them. You may, but at the end of the conversation, maybe their alarms are just irrational. But on the other hand, if you don't talk to them, you won't know what it is that they're talking about. And possibly what they're about to tell you could be something, really damaging to you and them. And as a parent, I don't give a fuck if your kids are adults. Your first alignment should be with your family. These are kids that came out of you. There's nobody else in this world that's closer to them than you. And if they see somebody in your life that's about to do their mama some harm, they're going to tell you. You need to fucking listen. Okay? That's what I'm going to tell you. Because too many women, look at my whole channel. It's full of examples and representations of women who were blinded by love, blinded by lust, blinded by nigga shit games, and failed to really focus on what would be the best outcome for themselves. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes other people have to help you. And you have to keep your mind open to the fact that what they're telling you could have some validity. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not saying you have to break up with the person because of what they say. What I am telling you is you need to fucking listen. Listen. Hear them. Feel what they're telling you. Keep your mind open. I had a friend who she had this dude. I don't know, this dude, he was just really weird. We could all see how weird he was, but she just couldn't. It was like she was blind or something. I to this day, and this was at least 20 years ago, I do not understand what she saw in this man. I honestly don't. The guy was weird as fuck, and he had this very strange habit where if she didn't cook for him or give him food, he wouldn't eat. So he would sit in the house, like if she had to work late or went out shopping or did anything that brought her home a little bit late, he would sit on the couch in the dark in the living room and wait for her to come home to feed him. It was the most bizarre shit I've ever seen. And she would do it. I mean, we'd be out at happy hour, girls' night out, whatever, and she'd look at her watch and she'd be like, oh, I have to go home because whatever, I'm not going to say his name, will be waiting for me to give him dinner. And, it took me some time to figure out what she really meant. But, dude, I mean, he wouldn't even go to fast food, nothing. He'd sit on the couch in the dark with his stomach grumbling, waiting for her to come and feed him. So they eventually got a divorce. But, all the words we were telling her, like, do you really want to marry this man? I mean, he's kind of weird. That's not normal. And she just, couldn't see it. Another woman that I worked with at one point had a husband who was so strange. I mean, okay, now she's getting off of work at 4:30. She got to zoom to the daycare, pick up the kids, and if she has to stop and get to the grocery store, or whatever, she needed to get some groceries, then go home and cook. This motherfucker would be sitting at the table at 6 o'clock sharp every night, demanding that she give him dinner. So she's racing around between 4:30 and 6 trying to find food so that she could serve him his dinner at 6 o'clock to keep him from getting mad. I'm like, please, that motherfucker would starve. He would be a skeleton sitting at that table waiting for me. You're not going to control me like that. You want to eat, motherfucker, get up, get in your car, walk, take a moped. I don't care how you do it. But, you going to feed yourself. I'm not going to worry about you eating. I'm going to eat. I'm going to make sure my kids eat. And then you on your own. You eat when I fucking get ready to feed you. Or you don't eat at all. I really don't give a shit. But that's my attitude. And in her case, too, they eventually divorced. And it's like, why do women have to go through this? They're just in such a rush to be married that they don't think about who it is they're marrying and what they have to give up to marry him. And this is a theme throughout all of these videos. It's over 100 of them at this point that I've produced to get women to think about the balance of power and the exertion of energy. It should be equal between you and the man. It shouldn't be all you giving and all him taking. And that's what we see a lot. And that's what our family and our friends and our other loved ones want to point out to us. They want us to be in a situation where we're not only taking care of the person we love, but being taken care of by that person as well. And if they see a situation as being one-sided, where you're giving too much and not getting enough, they're going to they're going to talk shit. They're going to talk to you about it, and they're going to tell you that the person that you're involved with and the person that you love needs to treat you better. But for some reason, y'all don't want to hear that. You want to go off and, they in my business. They trying to tell me what to do. They put in their 2 cents. I didn't ask them. And all this kind of stuff. It's like, you have a choice here. You can listen to them and then make a determination. I mean, maybe it's something as simple as you checking your partner and say, I know this is what you think you're going to get or what you want. I can't give that to you. I'm not going to give that to you. Can we still be together without that aspect? Give them the opportunity to say yes or no. I mean, they may decide, they want this slave labor type relationship. And if that's not really what you want to give, then But see, I can't in my mind just accept the fact that there's so many women out there in these kind of imbalanced relationships with men, their family is aware of the imbalance. Your friends are aware of the imbalance. Your friends and family see how much you're sacrificing. They see how exhausted you are. They see how disappointed you are. They see how unsupported you are. And they don't want that for you. So they talk shit about your partner who's not the fuck standing up. Why do you get angry at them? You need to get angry at your partner for not being the person that you need. You need to get angry at yourself for accepting less than what you deserve. You don't get mad at the people who love you for pointing out that that's what you're doing. See, and that's what I keep saying. Now, let's switch tacks here and talk about the people who you all feel are haters. You feel like, these women want your man. They trying to separate you, or these dudes, and they trying to separate you and filling your head full of stuff that's not true and all this old stuff. Okay, I admit that does happen. There are people who are jealous, and there are people who are insincere. Okay, how do you deal with that kind of person? Okay, first of all, understand that the stuff that they tell you is going to be rumors and innuendo. None of it's going to be factual. They're not going to have dates. They're not going to have times. They're not going to have faces. They're not going to be able to recite observations or actual things that they saw. Okay, that is your key. They are going to be filling your head with innuendo and what they think and nothing. So if you say, okay, well, you think that, why? What was the basis of your judgment and your opinion? I'm really interested. I trust you. Tell me what causes you to have this idea about my partner. I mean, you know what I mean? Talk to people, communicate, listen to them. That's the only way you're going to get some facts. And so you'll hear them say, well, I just don't think blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, then you say, well, okay, when did you see them doing that? Or when did you hear them saying something that would make you think that? They're not going to fucking have any proof. And that's how you know you have a hater. Okay? So that person you don't pay any attention to. However, if you have people that say, well, when he said this, when he did that, on July 4th, this happened when y'all was at the barbecue. I saw him say this. I saw the motherfucker over here. I did this. He did that. Blah, blah, blah. Then you have facts, and there's a difference here. So you can't just blindly put everybody into the same category when you think everybody's trying to hurt you. Everybody ain't trying to hurt you. Stop being a fucking paranoid weirdo. I mean, listen, if you believe that these people really love and care about you, then you need to hear what they're trying to say. Ask follow-up questions if you have doubts. You know what I mean? There's no reason for you to just blindly dismiss their concerns because you want to be with this individual. These people are looking out for you, just like I looked out for my brother. He, unfortunately, did not listen to me. I didn't really expect him to tell you the truth. I knew he was going to marry this girl. It was something about her he just was fixated on. But she was just a shabby bitch the whole time they were married. And she was just a shabby bitch after they got a divorce. And she's probably still a shabby bitch because, that's just how she was. In that moment, I had tried to like the woman. It was my brother loves her, so I'm going to try to love her too. But I'm telling you, once she said that that she would treat her own brother that way, that was not in our family values to treat each other that way. She wasn't in line with what we feel makes a family. And in that moment, I knew that this woman was no one that my brother should marry, ever, ever, ever. She was going to do nothing but hurt him because she didn't give a shit about her own brother. So why the fuck would she give a shit about mine? And that was my mentality. And so, but I had proof. You see what I'm saying? This didn't come from just some random I feel. This came from her telling me about the years worth of negative behavior she exhibited towards her own brother. And that's what I'm trying to get you ladies to understand. Don't automatically dismiss what someone who loves you tells you about the person that you care about. They could have a very valid reason for saying the things that they're saying. You have to open your mind, open your ears, and listen to them. Okay? You may ultimately make the decision to stay with your partner anyway, despite their warnings and alarms, and that's fine. Now, you grown, do what the fuck you want to do. But then, see, you can never ever say in the end, when the shit blows up in your face, that you didn't know that that was what he was like. All right? My name is Deborah Cooper. I am the advice columnist and author of several books. You can find my writings and advice column on survivingdating.com, my books on amazon.com. We'll have more exciting videos on dating and relationships for you over the coming week. And I thank you very much for listening and subscribing to my channel. Bye-bye.